This is Headlines TV. Good evening and welcome. The headlines. Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump may discuss arms control during the coming meeting. China will defend territory even at the cost of war with India, says Chinese Daily. Modi's historic maiden Israel visit, grand reception awaits the PM. 3,000 saplings planted on behalf of Avadi Police Control. Sand pillages in the Pala bed paves way for damaging drinking water pipes, public request to ban. The news in detail. Russian President Vladimir Putin and his US counterpart Donald Trump may discuss arms control during their upcoming meeting later this week in Germany, Russian presidential aide Yuri Ushakov said on Monday. At a news briefing ahead of Putin's trip to Germany, Ushakov confirmed that the Russian and US presidents will meet on the sidelines of the G20 summit to be held in Hamburg on July 7 to 8, Xinhua news agency reported. He said the long-anticipated meeting was very important for maintaining global stability and security. Ushakov added that Putin and Trump may also discuss the return of Russian diplomatic properties in New York City and Washington, D.C., seized by the U.S. government last December in retaliation for the alleged Russian interference in the 2016 U.S. presidential elections. In addition, Putin will also hold talks with about 10 foreign leaders during the G20 summit, including French, South Korean, Turkish presidents and Japanese Prime Minister, said Ushakov. US President Donald Trump and German Chancellor Angela Merkel plan to meet Thursday for what are expected to be tricky talks on the eve of a Group of 20 summit in Hamburg. Merkel's spokesman Steffen Seibert said the meeting would come before the summit, most probably in the early evening of Thursday. The pair also spoke by telephone on Monday. Trump and Merkel addressed climate issues, the Women's Entrepreneurship Financing Initiative and trade, including global steel overcapacity, the White House said in a statement following their extensive discussion. The president said that he looks forward to helping Chancellor Merkel make the summit a success. Transatlantic differences on climate change, trade, defense spending and refugees hang over the July 7 to 8 meeting of the world's major industrialist and emerging economies. Last week, Merkel met with key European leaders and vowed to make a stand for climate protection and open markets at the meeting with Trump, who has said he will take the US out of the Paris climate deal and pursue a protectionist America First policy. Merkel said that the differences are obvious and it would be dishonest to try to cover that up. She also said the US exit from the 2015 Paris Climate Pact had made Europe more determined than ever to make the accord a success. More than 20,000 police will be on duty for the G20 meeting. More than 30 anti-capitalist protests are expected. A day before the G20 starts, Trump will head to Warsaw for a meeting of Central and Eastern European leaders likely to include Hungary's hardline Prime Minister Viktor Orban, who has sparred with Western European leaders, especially on the refugee issue. Suspended more than 120 meters above a gaping chasm, the world's longest cantilevered glass skywalk is delighting and terrifying visitors in China. In southwest Chongqing, offering intrepid tourists a vertigo-inducing view of the ground some 123 meters below. No more than 30 people are allowed on the skywalk at any one time. While some pause to pose for photos, others find it all a little too much to cope with and grip the handrail with both hands as they inch along the walkway. The structure at the Ottovician Park in Watcheng, which is held up by thick cables, was certified earlier this year by Guinness World Records as being the longest of its type anywhere on the planet. Similar glass-bottomed constructions have become popular attractions at scenic parks in China. Last year, a 430-meter-long, 300-meter-high glass bridge opened in central Hunan province. It is temporarily closed after being overwhelmed by crowds. China would resolutely safeguard its border in conflicts with India, even at the cost of war, a hawkish Chinese newspaper said on Monday. China will resolutely safeguard its border sovereignty in conflicts with Indian troops even at the cost of war, the Global Times said, which is party-run and published by the People's Daily and known to reflect hardline views. On Finance Minister Arun Jaitley's remarks to India Today that India is different from 1962, the paper quoted a Chinese expert Wang Dehua, professor at the Shanghai Municipal Center for International Studies, as saying, China is also different from what it was in 1962. There could be a chance of war if the recent conflict between China and India is not handled properly. The paper quoted observers as saying, adding that China will resolutely defend its territory and safeguard the border. At the same time, the paper called for dialogue. Both sides should focus on development rather than conflict or war, said scholar Hao Gancheng, adding that a conflict between the two may give other countries a chance to take advantage, for example the US. India should change its hostile attitude toward China, said Wang, as a good relationship is beneficial for both sides. Modi is said to be given the same luxury suite at the King David Hotel that US President Donald Trump stayed in during his visit. Amidst pleasant friendship between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his Israeli counterpart Benjamin Netanyahu on social media ahead of his 3-day visit, palpable enthusiasm among the Indian diaspora too was reported by the local Israeli media. From personal video messages recorded to welcome Modi to grand preparations for his stay and interaction with 4,000 Jews of Indian origin, the visit is being treated with unprecedented importance, as Israeli Ambassador Daniel Carmen puts it. Modi is said to be given the same luxury suite at the King David Hotel that US President Donald Trump stayed in during his visit, reported Jerusalem Post. Arrangements for Modi's visit have been more strenuous than for Trump's, but without some of the restrictions. For instance, during Trump's visit, the entire hotel was cleared of guests who were not a part of the presidential delegation. But for Modi's visit, only the upper floors and the parking area had to be vacated. The lobby of the hotel had to be sterile when Trump entered. No red carpet, no welcoming committee. On the other hand, Modi and his delegation will be welcomed with pomp and ceremony. Around 4,000 Jews of Indian origin now residing in Israel are expected to attend a keynote event hosted by Modi at Tel Aviv Convention Center. The embassy is organizing the Wednesday evening event and making buses available to transport people from all over the country, from Beersheba in the south to Haifa in the north, and from the large concentrations of the community in cities such as Ashdod and Jerusalem. Residents of Talavaipuram village warn about protesting if their demands are not met. There are more than 500 families residing in the KB Talavaipuram village in Ottanchatiram Circle, Tuticorin. The family ration shops have refused to give kerosene, saying that they have 2 gas cylinders. But around 150 families which have just 1 gas cylinder also are denied of buying kerosene. In spite of getting approved from the gas companies, they still cannot claim their right to buy kerosene. The affected people have given a petition to the district collector Venkatesh. They have also warned that a big protest would erupt if they are denied kerosene in future.
Cylinder. அங்கே அன்னை கேஸ் சர்வீஸ்லேயும் போய் பார்த்தோம், ஒரு சிலிண்டர் தான் இருக்குன்னு சொன்னாங்க. தாலுகா ஆஃபீஸ்லேயும் ஒரு தடவை மனு கொடுத்தோம், திரும்ப 4வது மாதம் கலெக்டர் ஆஃபீஸ்லேயும் மனு கொடுத்துருக்கோம். இன்னும் எந்த ஒரு இதுவும் சொல்லலை. நீங்கள் போங்க, உங்களுக்கு ஏற்பாடு பண்ணி தரோம், அடுத்த மாதம் மண் வாங்கன்னு சொன்னாங்க. இப்போவும் 4 மாதம் ஆச்சு, இன்னும் ஒன்றும் சொல்லலை. அதனால் திரும்பவும் வந்திருக்கோம். மழையும் ஊற்றலை. இன்னும் மழை நேரம் வேறு ஆரம்பிச்சிட்டு மண் இல்லாமல் ஒன்றும் செய்ய முடியாது. கிராம சைடு வேறு. திரும்பவும் மனு கொடுக்க வந்திருக்கோம் சார்.
தலவாய்புரம் எங்களுக்கு ரேஷன் கடையில் வந்து மண்ணெண்ணெய் கொடுக்கவில்லை. 2 சிலிண்டர் இருக்குன்னு மண்ணெண்ணெய் கொடுக்கலாம், ஆனால் எங்களுக்கு 1 சிலிண்டர் தான் இருக்குது. அன்னை பாரத் கேஸ்லையும் போய் நாங்கள் கேட்டு எழுதி வாங்கிட்டு வந்துட்டோம். ஆனால் பொதுமக்கள் அனைவருக்குமே மண்ணெண்ணெய் இல்லை. அதனால் நாங்கள் 3 வாட்டி ஏற்கனவே இது மனு கொடுத்துருக்கோம், திருப்பியும் மனு கொடுக்கோம். இதுக்கப்புறமும் எங்களுக்கு மண்ணெண்ணெய் வழங்கவில்லை என்றால் நாங்கள் போராட்டம் பண்ணுவோம். 300 கார்டுக்கு மேலே இருக்குது, 150 கார்டுக்கு மண்ணெண்ணெய் கொடுக்கவில்லை. நாங்கள் இப்போ 50 பேர் வந்திருக்கோம். ஆமாம், எல்லாருக்குமே 1 சிலிண்டர் தான் கவர்மெண்ட்லேருந்து கொடுத்த சிலிண்டர்.
ஆனால்
2 சிலிண்டர்னு சொல்லி எங்களுக்கு இங்கே பதிஞ்சிருக்காங்க, ரேஷன் கார்டில் பதிஞ்சிருக்காங்க. 1 சிலிண்டர் தான் எங்களுக்கு இருக்கு. ஆனால் அது திருப்பி எங்களுக்கு இது மண்ணெண்ணெய் வழங்கலை என்றால் நாங்கள் போராட்டம் பண்ணுவோம், ரேஷன் கார்டில் போராட்டம் பண்ணுவோம், கலெக்டர் ஆஃபீஸிலும் போராட்டம் பண்ணுவோம்.
This year's severe drought around the state has created awareness in the people, NGOs, social workers, political parties to think about planting more trees. Even the police department have taken steps on their behalf in Avadi, Chennai. Assistant Commissioner Nandakumar has headed the sapling planting. 1,000 saplings were planted in Tirumullai Vayil and 2,000 in Avadi Tank Factory Police Circle with the help of public welfare associations. OPS says they deserve the 2 leaves party logo according to party governing rules. Former Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, O. Pannirselvam, met the reporters in Trichy Airport. OPS took part in the family event of former Minister Subramanian in Manaparai. While speaking to the reporters, he said that according to AIADMK's governing rules, his party deserves to get the party's logo of 2 leaves. During this, a slight commotion took place between the escorts and the press. This has been the third time a similar incident is taking place.
அனைத்து இந்திய அண்ணா திராவிட முன்னேற்ற கழகத்துடைய கழக சட்ட விதிப்படி இரட்டை இலை சின்னம் எங்களுக்கு தான் கிடைக்கும் என்பதை தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கிறேன்.
Shows have been cancelled in all the cinema halls in Vellore district to cancel the entertainment tax. A tax of 18% to 28% is levied upon the ticket charges in the cinema halls. On top of this, 30% of entertainment tax is added to it. The protest against this and also to object GST, Abhirami Ramanathan, chairman of the Film Chamber of Commerce, has announced that cinema shows all over the country would be cancelled. On account of this, all the cinema halls were closed in Vellore district yesterday. The Pala River in the Vaniyampadi, Chennampettai and Mettupalayam areas in Vellore district plays a major source for drinking water. Residents of the Jafrabad Panchayat and Mettupalayam Udayendiram Panchayat get their drinking water from the underground pipes in this part of the Pala bed. Midnight sand robbery is a day-to-day activity in that area, and also they break the water pipes, which hinders the drinking water supply to this area. The residents and social welfare organizations have requested the police and the revenue department to take necessary action against this situation. And that's all for today's news. To watch more, please do subscribe Headlines TV. Thank you.